Also, hair is from Kim Beckold. I will leave her website down below. She makes cosplay wigs for those of color. And so I just kind of rock these wigs, whatever. I'm realizing now that I actually need to chop a little more of this one off. But it is a fantastic wig. If you want me to do like a wig breakdown or whatever, or talk about these wigs while I style one, because I have some other ones I need to cut, let me know. But yes, back to what we were reading. Hi guys, I welcome you guys back to Read with Melanin. Today we are here to do a January reading recap. If you checked out the live earlier, I think it was like last week, we did a reading planner live where I showed you guys this wonderful page right here, which my camera is probably going to be a hater and not let you fully see. But technically I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I paused 2 books and I'm currently reading 1 book. So I personally think that this month was a pretty good reading month. I had a goal. I reached that goal. And then on top of that, like, I just got some inspiration for a new spread in the reading journal. So, also, I'm sorry, the lighting is going to do weird things because the time of day and like I don't feel like pulling out the lights. So, forgive me in advance. In honor of Akata Woman coming out, I had to reread Akata Witch and Akata Warrior. I love this series. It's one of those things where like I think I listened to the audiobook of Akata Witch at first, and this time, no, I read it first, and then this time I listened to the audiobook. And sometimes with like rereads, I always feel, but this one, because I had read it such a long time ago, that I really enjoyed it. And then I didn't feel like Akata Warrior was such a weird ending anymore, since I now knew that this was not the last book. I am about 200 pages away from finishing Akata Woman, but I will say some of the things that were mentioned in the first 2 books now make perfect sense now that not only that I reread the first 2, but I'm reading the 3rd one. I also heard that there is a like novella where Sasha and Sunny go to the States. That I definitely think that I also want to check out. It's a good series, a completion series. I think this is the last book. So yeah, I read Akata Witch and I read Akata Warrior. The next book that I think I talked about in the last wrap up again, I finished up the last half of this mug in the month of January, so I am counting it, and it is The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabella Wilkerson. If you guys missed the Black Prose chat where we talked about this book, I'll try to remember to leave a link to Black Prose down below. Again, still a very good book, an amazing resource at that, and it's really, I guess since this is Black History Month, I can say this. It just really made me, one, I felt extremely disgusted by some of the atrocities that were recounted in this book. It just amazes me how, we were called demonic and savage, but we weren't the ones wearing other people. So it's just one of those things where it's like, just understand this book is extremely heavy. It took me months to get through this book because to me it was really heavy, and I found myself just needing to stop for my own sanity. So keep that in mind. This is an extremely heavy book, but I still think it is a very much a needed book. It's a book that talks about 3 different people, real life people, during their moment of the Great Migration. And I'm talking about the Great Migration of Black people leaving the South after slavery ended. So just keep that in mind. I did get this one from the library, so this one is going back now that I did this video. The next book that I finally got to is Blood Like Magic by LaSalle Sansbury. I'm very happy that my sister pre-ordered the second book, because the way that this book ends, one, it's just, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I met the person that wrote this book. I've talked to the person. that wrote this book. And it's really amazing to see how authors create stories, because I could never come up with this. I really enjoyed the amazing family dynamic of this book. It was like family, super important. And it was something that you were very aware of from like the very first part of the book. I loved the mystery kind of aspect. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need a nap. Sorry. But yeah, I enjoyed the mystery part of this book. I enjoyed to me, it wasn't really suspense, but at the same time it was, because there is a particular thing that happens to the main character. What's the main character in this book's name? Voya, which again, like the name Voya. Voya has serious issues in the sense that her task that she was given to determine whether or not she is going to be a witch is one of those things where it is like do or die, and if you don't do it, this is what happens. If you do it, this is what happens. And I think that the way that the author chose to create this level of mess was very creative. I also would like to say that I liked the freedom of this book, in the sense that this book is set in futuristic Canada, where, you know, Meta has clearly already taken over the world and everything about genetics and all that stuff. But there is a very nuanced kind of thing in the sense of the way that she writes in characters, more specifically the way that she writes in, it was simple things like when there was a new character and they introduced themselves, they'd be like, hi, my name is Brittany, I use the pronoun she, her, or just the care that the author wrote about everyone's individuality in the book, the way that she describes Voya's cousins, just the care that was taken in the description of people and the understanding of the people in this story. I really, really enjoyed that. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like it was a diversity quota. It didn't feel like it was fake allyship. It felt like this was literally how the world already is. So it just made complete sense that that's how this book was written. And I don't know. I liked it. That's what we're going to say. Obviously, I do need to put out there that I do have a slight bias, as this is a person that I consider a friend. But I'm also saying, even though I have that bias, I really, really enjoyed the book. And I actually need to talk to somebody else about the book, because I've sat down enough time between finishing this book and like ending it, where now I can critically talk about the book. Because usually when there's a massive cliffhanger type jaw-dropping moment in a book, I'm usually like too excited to talk about the book like with sense, because in my mind I'm like, did not see that coming. Okay. So because of that, I'm like, holy mess. Okay. Shaketh is my name. Shaketh. But I did like this one. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, I gave a Kata Witch a 3.5 and a Kata Warrior a 4. Love having my reading journal. Yes, there's still some available in my shop. Link down below. The last book, I read it in a day. And that is The Shadow of Kyoshi by F.C. Lee. Okay, so I don't know if I've ever ranted about this on my old channel, but since this is my new channel, I am a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. I loved Aang's story. I loved Korra's story, but I had a lot of issues with the way that they portrayed Korra, just in the sense of like Avatar duties versus like being completely obsessed with boy or girl. But the Avatar that my favorite Avatar has always been Kyoshi. And so when I learned that they're coming out with a book series, I got really excited. Rise of Kyoshi is the story about Kyoshi when she was a little girl to when she actually figured out that she's the Avatar. And the way that the first book ended, it ended in a way where it's like, yes, Kyoshi is the Avatar, but we're going to see some repercussions of what happened because of book 1 in book 2. And I think we definitely did. I also want to point out that I noticed, let me just go get the other cover. Hold on. Okay, so this is the cover of Rise of Kyoshi, and this is the cover of The Shadow of Kyoshi. So this one's kind of giving me like earth vibes, and this one is kind of giving me fire vibes, right? Am I wrong? I'm saying that to say like, so we got, because she is an earthbender, so we got earth, we got fire, so then the next one is air, and then the next one should be water. If we can get all 4 books, I would be satisfied, but at the same time, I would like the original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra to go ahead and give us Kyoshi. In fact, I would also like to do her predecessor and his predecessor, Yemchin. Would like all of them to have their own series. But I can't find anywhere online where it says that there's going to be a 3rd book. So if anybody knows if we're getting a 3rd book, that would be great, because this book covers when she's like 18. And then if you remember in like in Aang's Avatar, in Sozin's Comet, like part 2, when he's talking to the different spirits of his past lives, and Kyoshi comes up and she talks about how she instated, you know, she is the reason why there's this thing as Kyoshi warriors, why there's the Dai Li, why she's the reason why all of these different things were implemented into the Earth Kingdom, and I just don't think she gets enough love for that, and I want to see more Kyoshi. I don't know if I'm the only one. I could just be being dramatic, but I did not find anything. I'll even take it in graphic novel form, but when I say I love Kyoshi, I love Kyoshi. Also, like, there's something about how, like, she has a daughter somewhere down the line named Coco, but, like, in these books, her bae is a girl. So, like, I'm wondering, I'm just trying to figure out what happened, but I can't make my assumptions because... And then also, you know, like, Suki is a descendant of Kyoshi on her father's side. So I'm just wondering what happened, because the bae in this story, I'll take her any day. Ride or die is probably not the best way to describe her, but there is a particular scene where she literally comes blasting through the ceiling because she's a firebender, and I just love it. That's what I'll say. I just love it. Just love it. So those are the books that I read in the month of January. Like I said, I am currently still reading Akata Woman by Dr. Nadia Korafor. My question to you is, what are the books that you read this month? Did you pause any like I did? Did you DNF any? Please let me know down below in the comments section. As usual, thank you guys so much for checking out my channel, and until the next video, guys, bye.